Welcome to After the Flag with myself, Steve Day, and Simon Crafar, where we try and analyse yet another jaw-dropping MotoGP race. It is magic at the moment. Before we go any further, of course, if you just witnessed the race, you would have seen that horrific crash at the top of the hill at turn 3. I'm delighted to say that there's no serious injury to Johann Zarco or Franco Morbidelli. Fingers crossed we can have them back as soon as possible. But Simon, where do you start? The stories in 2020, they just get better and better and better.
I was just saying to a few colleagues earlier, Matt and Neil, that even the MotoGP fans are... sorry, someone's talking in my ear, I didn't expect that. Even the MotoGP fans that aren't, you know, the car fans or whatever, are going to be going to work tomorrow and saying, did you see that MotoGP race?
This is the crash. Like, how lucky was Valentino Rossi there?
To me, that was like the Grim Reaper passing you across in front of you, wasn't it? That is proper terrifying. You'd lose limbs if that got you, you know, or worse. So proper scary. Look, guys, it looks to me after a little bit, I mean, it's hard to see in pit lane as well, but Johann Zarco's done the pass on the faster Ducati. He's gone in tighter, so ran wide and basically taken Morbidelli's line. And when the bike goes back in front, you get a big slipstream at that speed. You're talking, what are they doing down there? Over 300 kilometres an hour.
313, yeah.
Yeah, so you get this big vacuum in the back. It's right when you're about to brake, so...
I mean, Zarco's bike almost collected a couple of riders, but had it not have actually hit that air fence that's just there, it was making a beeline for the race leaders.
No, that's why the fence is there, and that's why it's a little bit scary having such a tight turn there, you know.
Well, listen, Andrea Dovizioso has won here today ahead of Joan Mir, his first ever MotoGP podium, and Jack Miller. Matt Birt will be standing by, ready to talk to the top three shortly. We'll hear from those, we'll analyse, we'll try and get through as much as we possibly can. Quickly on Dovizioso, and what a way to respond after the weekend he's had.
You know, that's why I mentioned it in Parc Fermé, because he must be proud of himself, you know, to pull that out. He must have had faith in himself that he could do that, and he knew the bike. I mean, he's done it a few times before, but hats off to him. He's so clever, so analytical, so when it counts, makes so few mistakes, and yeah, amazing. I was watching him on track come out of that tight right when the tyre had gone down, and he genuinely was the one where the crash was. If you watch on the footage how he could steer the rear on the rear tyre and punch it out of there, it was beautiful. Jack's starts were damn impressive.
Well, yeah, I mean, this was the second restart. I mean, Joan Mir also got away really, really well. He went slightly wide, but he gambled for the soft as well. Long old race, but he defended beautifully right up until the last couple of corners.
Yeah, I mean, he explained that he had to take the soft, and I believe him because I was running around pit lane, and people said, we've got no more tyres, so we're running the same again. Jack wanted a new one, so he had to choose hard or soft. He went the soft.
Of course, Joan Mir it is that gets through to second. A bittersweet day in many ways for Suzuki, but they won't feel too bad about the Alex Rins crash, despite the fact that he got out front, purely because their other man has managed to get on there. That's Suzuki's first podium here in Austria. Joan Mir's first MotoGP podium, overdue, I think most people would agree as well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, people have been saying, well, we've seen for a long time he's had the speed, he just hasn't put the qualifying, the start, the whole race together, you know, and no mistakes. The thing is, who would have believed that it was likely two Suzukis on the podium today, you know? It was only that mistake from Alex. He looked like threatening for the win even, so, yeah.
I would just like to point out that I did have Rins down potentially as a podium.
You did, yeah, you put him down for third.
It didn't happen because he crashed anyway.
No, it was still a good call.
Best wishes to Alex. It looks like he got up in unscathed. So the top three are Dovi, Joan Mir and Jack Miller. In fourth place, as we're just looking here, this is the moment between Jack and Joan, just running it slightly wide through turn 9 there for Jack, and that allowed Joan Mir to come through and take the checkered flag.
Jack said he didn't trust the front in there, you know, and you know what I'm saying, like when that front had gone down, the soft front, yeah, just...
Well, especially as he's crashed here so often, Jack, he's never scored a point here in Austria, so it will be a big relief for him. In terms of the championship, things have turned upside down as well. Quartararo and Vinales have had disastrous days.
Yeah, you know, I've got to feel sorry for Vinales' second race. It sounds like slipping clutch was the problem. Casey Stoner pointed it out. He heard, I don't hear much in pit lane. Apparently he heard something also. Gregorio Lavia messaged the same. So I think they'd be right. Those guys would know. And I feel sorry for him that happened. But the first race, 5 laps in, Valley from 12th, Valentino, was beside him. So I don't think it was going well today anyway.
Well, Valentino, despite what happened over at turn 3, managed to recover to 5th today, which is a great result, and was closing in actually on Brad Binder. What can you say about Brad? We need to talk about KTM at some point. We might get interrupted with live interviews. The day did not go to plan at all. I want to firstly talk to you about Pol Espargaro, because in the initial start, everything went perfectly. But the disruption, the red flag, which clearly had to come out, he was angry about it for obvious reasons. Here is a replay of this incident as well. This is his crash in the second race. He was getting a bit impatient, wasn't he? He's run really wide. Come back out.
Boof, together. Oh, and poor old Oliveira again, you know, getting taken out. Like, that's why he was so frustrated. He lost it when he came in the box. But he is, to me, another Mir. He's there, he's ready to do something special, just everything needs to fall into place and nobody take him out. Pol, I put him down for the win because I wanted him to, and, you know, it didn't happen today. You picked it. I think he got rattled in the second one, and it's all part of the game, isn't it? His mental strength to put up with those things. But I think he really could have won today in that first one if it didn't stop.
Okay, let's cross over now and get our first interview. The man who finished 3rd today, Australian Jack Miller, a brilliant defensive display with that soft front tyre. In the end, he just lost out on 2nd place. It's his first podium of 2020, and he's down with Matt now.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Steve. I'm delighted to see Jack Miller for the first time in 2020. Jack Valencia last November feels like a long time ago since we had a little chat. Hard work out there today. You went for that soft front tyre, soft Michelin. You obviously decided to try and make the break at the start, but you've got to be so happy to be back on the podium after what was a really dramatic day as well.
Yeah, like you say, I mean, starting off with the Moto2 race, getting red flagged, you know, with that horrible crash. I hope Hafiz is okay. I mean, just sort of got in my rhythm in the first one. I didn't really want to be leading, but I was doing my best just to sort of manage it the best I could, try not to overspin the tyres. I honestly thought Dovi was having a mechanical in the in between the last 2 corners. He sort of sat up and put his arm up, and I was like, but he didn't go off the racing line. I thought, this is weird, because I didn't have the flash on the dashboard, nothing. I was like, why isn't he getting out of the way? What is he doing? And then I come out on the front straight, seeing the red flags, and I was like, oh, okay, must have been a crash. And then, you know, you arrive to the top of the turn 1 there, and I could see where it was. And it's never nice seeing boys go down there. I mean, honestly, your heart goes straight to your mouth. It's gut-wrenching, you know, and then arriving upon the scene, seeing bits of bike everywhere. Yeah. It's not nice. The only thing I can say that was positive about it all was I saw Joan going away on a scooter, and I saw Frankie on the stretcher moving. So, I mean, immediately it's a sigh of relief, but no, never nice to go down there. I hope the boys are all right and they can be back here next week. But, start again, 20 laps. 20 laps is still a long time around here, I can tell you that for free. And like you say, I didn't have any other option but to put the soft. I was like, it was either hard, which I hadn't used at all, or soft, which I'd done a few laps on. So we'll put the soft and, tried to make the bolt. It didn't really work. Might have to work on that skill for the future, but no, I managed to get it out to about a 2nd. Wasn't able to keep it out there for very long though. I just got the front hot and started bouncing a little bit, and I just tried to recover and manage it as best I could. Thought I could kind of stay there with Dovi, and then decided to try and fend off Joan. I made a small error in trying to defend on Joan. I thought he was close, and he was. Tried to tip it in just a little early, just to sort of close the door, thinking he was on me. And as soon as I did, it just sort of started bouncing. I was like, I was not pulling any more lever. That's why I dropped it last year out of a podium position. I'm not doing that again this year. So, it's a shame. But we're back here again next weekend, so hopefully we can try and improve on that.
Yeah, and what a difference 7 days makes, Jack, as well, because it was a difficult weekend for Ducati and yourself in Brno. So you must be really happy with the way you've responded and the way the team have responded to put a podium bike underneath you today.
Yeah, I mean, I was 9th and Dovi was, 11th? So it's a great turnaround for both of us. But, it was a special weekend in Checo. It's good to be back up fighting all weekend for decent positions. The team are working really hard. Ducati are working really hard. So, I would have loved to have rewarded them with a 1-2 today, but I fumbled that one. But anyway, massive congratulations to Dovi, with all the stuff that's going on. I know, it can't be easy on him, but just shows he's a true gentleman, but also a true champion, I think, at heart.
And you've had a bit of a score to settle with the Red Bull Ring. 4 previous visits, you haven't actually scored a point. So finally, Jack, you've scored your first point.
Have I even finished one, no? Maybe in Mark videos I might have finished one. I can't remember.
I don't know, but you haven't scored
It's
a
not
point.
been positive, though.
I'm happy to say finally you scored your first point, and it is on the podium. So you must be happy as well to get that one out of the way on a bogey track.
Yeah, exactly. We're doing all right this year. I haven't seen the points yet, but I think today would have been a healthy haul for us, and hopefully we can keep doing that.
Yeah, congratulations, Jack. Great to see you back on the podium, and we look forward to you doing it all again in about a week's time.
Oh, yeah, I hope so too. We'll see what happens. It's always hard, these back-to-backs. The boys always lift their game, so we're going to have to do the same.
Congratulations, Jack. Good to see you, mate. Back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah, thanks very much, Matt. Thanks to Jack Miller as well. Great to have him on the podium. He needed to get that one out of the way, didn't he, Simon? And you just wonder now, because his hand was forced in that race, whether he can take this confidence now and with the right setup next week, maybe go one better or maybe even 2 better.
I think he can. He's got the speed. They know the soft front is no good now, I think Jack can. He's got the speed. I think this will give him confidence. And the bike is the bike to be on round here, isn't it? It's got KTM or a Duke, and he's got one. I think he can fight for the win next week if he puts it all together.
Yeah, it's a fantastic effort then from Jack Miller, of course. His teammate Pecco Bagnaia is still out. We wish him all the best. It looks like he's not going to be back for a while. Let's hear from the man then. What a weekend it has been for Andrea Dovizioso, but he is the man. 50 wins for Ducati in MotoGP, and 14 of them have been won by this man. Let's go over to the race winner. Andrea Dovizioso is with Matt now.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Steve. It's undaunted Dovi at the Red Bull Ring and undefeated at Ducati. Andrea, what a difference a week makes. We were just saying to Jack Miller, after all the struggles that you and Ducati had in Renault last weekend, this was the perfect response. 11th last weekend to the top step of the podium. You must be so relieved after everything that's gone on so far this season, and in particular with the news that we heard yesterday.
Yes, but I'm more impressive about the comeback after Brno, because the feeling was so bad, and in my mind I didn't have any clear idea than what I really have to change. But from the experience we did in the last 3 years, it was also the work we did on a small details and on my riding style more than to change a bike like normally everybody doing. And this time happened the same. In the way I was approaching the brake didn't work, because the rear tire changed a lot of things, and from the first practice I was able to brake in a different way, and everything worked in a good way. That gave us the possibility to be there and work in a normal way during the weekend and be ready for the race. I'm so happy about that.
I don't know if you were aware before the second start that Jack had gone for the soft front tyre and the soft rear tyre. He opened up a lead of about a second. Were you worried at any point that he was going to make a breakaway that you couldn't recover?
Yeah, I didn't know about his soft tyre, but I think he did a really bad decision. Because the front tire worked very well and didn't drop, so I don't think it was a really good idea.
I think he might have had no medium front tyres left. I think he might have had to run the soft.
But you can make 2 races with that medium, so I don't think it was a good idea. But he was so fast at the beginning. I couldn't be faster. But fortunately, he had just a 2 shot. He didn't have that speed to keep that speed. So I was able to ride in a bit smooth way and be able to be consistent.
And obviously we saw Alex Rins very briefly come up the inside of you at turn 6, and then he crashed. What did you make of that incident?
Yes, I couldn't see him, but I was expecting him very strong in the race, and I think with him it was very difficult to win the race. And I think it will be very hard to next round, also because he will be very angry. But I think what we showed today is a really important thing.
It's another great day for you and Ducati, Andrea. Their 5th straight win here in the Red Bull Ring. the 50th win actually in World Championship racing for Ducati. I've got to ask you, after what happened yesterday, is there any way back in this relationship between you and Ducati? Do you think things can change if you carry on this kind of form, or is your relationship, it's beyond saving?
No.
That's a pretty crystal clear answer. You will not be in Ducati in
Not
20...
change, not change.
And what about next weekend, Andrea? Of course, you get to come back to the Red Bull Ring in just 5 days' time. I mean, are you confident you'll be able to make it 2 wins in a week here?
I don't know, because there is, I have to check the race to understand Paul, what's happened, because he was very strong in the practice. And I think the Suzuki ridership will be very strong in the next round.
Great to see you back on the top step of the podium, Andrea, for the first time since Austria last year. Enjoy the celebrations, and we'll see you back here in 5 days' time. Back to you, Steve. Desmo Dobby will be no more in 2021. We had to ask him, though, didn't we?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, thanks very much, Matt. Thanks to Andrea Dovizioso. Well, that was a resounding no, wasn't it? The answer to that question. What do you make of his thoughts there, Simon?
The thing that leaps out to me is how strong, how difficult is, the race is going to be next week, because he's pointed out 2 Suzukis, and he's right. I mean, there's at least 2 Ducatis. I think Zarco as well. So there's 3 Ducatis, 2 Suzukis, and I think there's going to be 2 or 3 KTMs as well, because Pole is there, and if he holds it together, we saw it today in the first one, and Brad has got some more miles under his belly.
That's a
under his belt.
very important point. Let's cross back over to Matt now. He's got, I'm sure, a very happy Joan Mir down with him at the moment. His first ever MotoGP podium. Over to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Steve. Well, we knew pre-race that Joan Mir loved the Red Bull Ring. He was a 2-time winner here in Moto3, and here he is celebrating his first MotoGP podium in a very dramatic race. Joan, you must be so happy. You've shown the speed and the potential before, but finally today you are a MotoGP podium man. How do you feel?
I feel amazing, no? It was hard to get the first podium. Like you said, a couple of races ago, we got the speed we start to get the speed to be faster, And here finally we get the result. I'm so happy. So happy also for the team, the ones that are here and the other ones that are in Japan. I cannot ask for more today. Honestly, I think that if we start in first row and we start from I put in front, probably I have something more, but fight with Ducati is not easy here, and but anyway, I'm really happy.
The key to any MotoGP race is the start, and it looked like, are you using the new hole shot device? Because both you and Alex got brilliant starts in both races. It looks like the new hole shot device is really good.
Yeah, in Brno, Alex used it, and I saw that it was super fast, and here I also use it, and yeah, amazing. I mean, good start, the best one in my life for sure. In both races, not only in the first one. And yeah, now if we get everything together like today, we will be able to fight in more tracks for sure.
And you must be so happy as well, because the Suzuki, we know it's not got the speed of the Ducati, but you really kept the pressure on Jack Miller, and that pressure told because he made that mistake in the penultimate corner. So you really kept the pressure on Jack. It looks like Suzuki have got a really strong competitive motorcycle this year.
Yes. In when the track is not so hot like in Jerez, the bike works so well in every track, and yeah, like you said, it's hard to fight with the Ducati here. They are so fast in sector 1 and 2, but we are fast in sector 3 and 4, For sure, for us is more difficult to overtake. Also for the KTMs, where Paul was super fast on the straight also, and to fight against these guys with those engines was hard today. But our bike is good in other points, and well, we play our cards well.
The good news is you get to come back to the Red Bull Ring in 5 days' time to start the Styrian Grand Prix. I mean, how much, Joan, has this lifted your confidence and your self-belief that you can now fight for the podium and potentially the victories in MotoGP?
Well, my team and me, we already knew that we had that potential, but now we believe even more in us for sure after this podium.
It was awesome to watch. A great race, Joan. Many, many congratulations on your
you.
first MotoGP podium.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys, Steve. Joan Mir's first podium in MotoGP. I don't think it will be his last.
No, fighting talk. Thanks, Matt. Thanks to Joan. Fighting talk there. Simon, some great words from Joan in that race. I mean, it's fantastic to see him on the podium. It shows you where Suzuki are and the data that they can pick up from today to maybe push even further. Like you said earlier, nobody really expected Suzukis to be fighting as close to the Ducatis as they were.
No, that interview, very, very cool to me. Like,
yeah.
he's got some inner belief. He's very talented and intelligent, and I think, he's part of that new generation. I'm talking that they're faster. He's going to only get faster again, and I think other riders are going to be really worried about him, especially towards the end of the year,
The only thing I will just bring up, it just shows as well how important it is for Joan Mir to qualify well. He did that this weekend, and notoriously he's struggled in that area. But when you do qualify well, and obviously he's not bad with the new launch control system, that has launched him into a contention for the podium. So he's going to have to try and keep that up on a Saturday.
Dead right. I think he pretty much put it across that it's made a difference. And it's all... Like, guys, it's so competitive. Everyone's almost the same speed. If you have to start from the back of the grids, it's so difficult to pass. The Dukes are a nightmare for a rider to pass. True nightmare. So, yeah, great. I think he's going to do it more often.
A couple of mentions to other riders. 6th place today was Taka Nakagami. That's another top 10 for Nakagami, who showed great late race pace. So he, again, just needs to sort out that qualifying, and he could be in contention once more. He just finished behind Valentino Rossi. Danilo Petrucci was also just behind him. I've got to give a word, because I know you're going to want to talk about this, Simon. You don't even know where I'm going here, which is fantastic. Ika Lekawona finishing in 9th place today. Yes, okay, a couple of riders fell, but he had to see the checkered flag and a top 10 as well. That will be a boost for him.
Yep. That's what Hervé's been telling him. I want you to finish, So, they need that race distance to see how the bikes change. They learn so much, and Ika is the least experienced guy out there. It's great to see him get some track knowledge, and again, another one by the end of the season, I think if he doesn't hurt himself, he'll start coming good. Oliveira, though, I think he's the one I missed out before. He's going to be here next weekend fighting.
Yeah, I think everyone feels sorry for Miguel Oliveira. It's sort of the tale of what might have been so often for him. He's another one like Mir, like Binder. We're going to see him soon for sure. He's got the speed. Before we go, we've got to talk about the World Championship leader and just analyse that once more. A mistake in the initial race was the biggest issue, because he got pumped wide into turn 1 at the start of the first race, which pushed him back. And then trying to make up for it, he went too hot into turn 4, which put him at the back. And then ultimately, obviously, he had to start the second race from 20th. So how do you analyse his race? He looked incredibly frustrated at the end.
Yeah, I think, like, turn 4, where he ran wide, it's a downhill off camber, and it looked from on board that the rear came around. He couldn't turn in and ran off straight into the gravel, But you're right, just a little bit too late on the brakes. But I feel sorry for the Yamaha boys, because that's what they have to do, is be so late on the brakes, because the engines aren't quite quick enough, and it's so easy to make a mistake when you're riding like that.
I suppose the problem for Quartararo, Simon, going into next week's Grand Prix in Styria, despite still being the championship leader, his gap's been cut, and even if he'd have had a squeaky clean race, he's still going to have problems dealing with the Ducatis, with the KTM and the Suzukis.
Here next week, big style. I didn't put a Yamaha on the podium today as our prediction, and I think it's going to be hard to get one on the podium next week, but they go to races away from here, and they've got the advantage.
Okay, well, that's all we've got time for. There's so much more to talk about, but you can join us again in a few days, of course, as we do it all again here at the Red Bull Ring for the BMW M Grand Prix of Styria. It's time for the press conference now. Thanks for joining us this weekend. There's so much more to come. Stay tuned, stay safe, and enjoy the highlights. And away we go. A good start from Jack Miller there. He gets that Ducati well off the line.
Oh, dear me! What's happened here? Oh, a huge crash on the fastest part of this Red Bull Ring circuit. Morbidelli and Zarco involved. The red flag had to come out.
Lights out again. A good start from Pol Espargaro on pole, but just squeezing it through is Jack Miller.
And now more at the front of the race as well as Andrea Dovizioso moves alongside Jack Miller. Mir get close enough to Miller to snatch second away. Jack Miller.
Oh, he's wide! He's wide! Here comes Mir, and the checkered flag is out. He's pitched it, crosses the line, and says to Ducati, "How do you like me now?" He wins here in Austria.